Well, hello there, real gamers. Retro Rob here, and welcome to Retro Rob Plays Everything. Today I've got something super special. Sorry. I've got something super special for you. That's right, it's a special edition Atari Super Pocket by Hyper Mega Tech. For those of you who don't know, this is basically a handheld Evercade, which the first one was, but then it was you get it. Anyway, it's another form factor for the Evercade, which they've done before. They did it with a Capcom version. There's another one. Anybody remember? What was the other? There's Capcom. I've got them both. Tato was the other one. And then I guess there was another one released with this, but the woodgrain blew me away and took all interest from the other version of this release of the handheld from me. It's starting to wear thin a little bit. Buying the same console with slight variation over and over again, and I'm beginning to wonder, what kind of sucker would just keep buying the. It's me. I'm the sucker that would keep buying these. But this one, of course, speaks to me because of the Atari-ness of it. Also, it has a release of Lost Tomb, which, as far as I know, the arcade edition of it has not been released since. Well, forever. And I don't think it's ever been released except in the arcade. Legally, I mean. Obviously, you could get it on any number of handheld emulation devices. But it's nice to get an official one. So anyway, this is kind of cool, kind of special. But you know what? We're going to do it like we always do. We're going to start with
the front of the box. Look at that shiny Atari logo. Ooh. Hyper Mega Tech. Here's the back of the box. Preloaded with 50 Atari classics. Arcade games, 2,600 games, 5,200 games. That's kind of interesting. They did that. It's not the stuff I would have chose, but hey, I'll take it. 7,800 games. And of course, Atari Lynx games. And yeah. That's pretty nice. As I probably mentioned earlier, Lost Tomb is the star of the show for me. So, really excited about that. Anyway, we're going to open this up. I took off the tab earlier. There's 3 tabs on the top. There was 1 tab on the bottom. I went with the easier route to access this. All right. Can an adult open this packaging without breaking it? This is going to be the problem. It's the without break. Oh, there we go. Thank goodness. Without breaking it. These are, this packaging is like really thin. Not kidding. Come on. All right. Well, I can see the back of it. And 40 plus cartridges, including, that's a nice little Evercade poster. I like that, actually. I have nothing bad to say about that. Oh, and there's a little quick start guide as well. Wait. There, you see it? Yeah, you do. Pretty cool. And here we go with the wood grain special edition Super Pocket, and yeah, it feels nice enough. And A, B, X, Y, you got a D-pad, you got the menu, select, start. Got a nice Atari logo. 4 buttons in the back. Get more games. Cover that up. Volume control. All right. I don't think I got. Oh yeah, I got power. There we go. And it's been about a week, and I've been playing this for a little bit, so we are back with, of course, the Super Pocket Atari Special Edition. There's 50 games built in. I'm going to scroll through here and make comments. We will play 5 games in a little bit. You've got, if you take a look at the bottom, it'll tell you what version it is. So you got the arcade version, 7800, 2600, or Link's edition of games. Here is one of the highlights. Bounty Bob Strikes Back is absolutely great. This is better than playing it on the 5200, in my opinion, just because the controls work better. You got Checkered Flag for the links, which is nice. Crystal Castles, I know a lot of people like that. It's not actually one of my favorite games, but I know a lot of people like it, so that's on there. Dark Chambers I actually really like as well. It's a little bit like Gauntlet. So if you like Gauntlet, you'll probably like this one. You got Fatal Run, which I played on this channel before. You got Food Fight, which is absolutely excellent. Arcade Frenzy, which is really good. There's so much good stuff in here. So much. Okay, here's Lost Tomb, which I mentioned earlier. And I am going to play this a little bit and talk about some of the issues with playing this on one of these handhelds. And anything else we want to talk about? Miner 2049er, of course, which of course Bounty Bob is the sequel to. So there's that. Motorcycle, you know. Ninja Golf, definitely worth it. If you don't have it yet, this is a great way to get it. There's Save Mary, which was previously unreleased, of course. Well, not previous to this, but you know what I mean, back in the day. Scrapyard Dog, another one of my favorites. The Lynx version, which is kind of interesting. I don't think they got the 7800 version on here, which makes me kind of sad. Also note that they used a lot of like different art, like alternate art for stuff, which I thought was kind of weird. Lynx version of Asteroids and Missile Command, which is kind of an interesting version as well. Breakout, there's a couple of paddle games on here, and to be honest, this isn't really the best platform for them, just so you know. Video Pinball, which, you know, I know a lot of people like pan it, but I like it a lot. Anything else here? Yar's Revenge, of course. And that's basically it for that. As I mentioned, and I turned it over before, but this does run Evercade games. If I didn't mention before, this is volume up, volume down. It's been a while since I recorded the original, so oops. Anyway, hit this menu right here, and you can go to your Evercade games once you plugged them in. There's also settings. I'm going to say that, there's me. Go back. There we go. Okay. I actually like the subtle scan lines a lot, and I'm going to keep them on for this. They are really good on this, and I think I've mentioned it, that there's not a lot of fake scan lines that I like, but I like these. And then you can switch to original, pixel perfect, or stretch it to the full screen, which is, I don't know, not my thing. Not my thing. All right, let's try out some games on this. Here we have Tempest on the Atari 2600, which, well, it's an experience, I guess. But I thought I'd show you something different from what I always do, so here it is. I'm impressed by the prowess that made this happen, but it's another one of those cases of I don't know that it should have happened. It's not amazing, but I guess it's a piece of history, right? But yeah, I'd definitely rather be playing something else. But still, interesting enough. Let's go on. Here we have Checkered Flag for the Atari Lynx. Do one single heat. And we'll just do a lap. That's fine. That's right, start your engines. Imagine you're on your Atari Lynx and you hear that. Back in 92 or 93. I'm trying to remember what year it came. Oh, Rob! Well, now I've done it.
if I had saved my game, I could have continued past that horrible accident. And definitely would have done better. Come on. Make up some time. Make up some time. I mean, graphically, oh, damn. Graphically, doesn't this look nice? I mean, that's how it would look nice, but I think it's a nice looking game. And some things to show you. So I've got the minimum scan lines on right now. I could save right now. See, save a slot. Now I come back to my game. I could load an old one. See, there's a slot I just saved. Shows the controls. And then display. All right, so right now I've got subtle scan lines on. I could turn it on to strong. And it would look like that, which doesn't look that bad on this screen, to be honest. Or during this recording, sorry. But it doesn't look that great in person. Definitely, I like the light scan lines. Oh, Rob. Terrible, just terrible. Anyway, so if I wanted to, I could also turn them completely off. And it would look like that. Don't play like me. Alright, it's Miner 2049er, as played on the Atari 5200. Which, I think I've mentioned before. This is probably better playing it on this than playing it on, say, the actual 5200, which I do have this game for. And, if you ever show up at Midwest Gaming Classic or something, I can put it in for you. You can try it out for yourself and see what you think. But, yeah. This is a better way to play it. For sure. Alright. Good, good, good. Did I miss some down here? I did. This game is actually really, 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 really fun. And the sequel is quite a bit better. And I would have shown you it, but it's also quite a bit harder. And it is really, really hard for me to play even halfway decently through the camera. Ah! Why? Why? And here we have Food Fight for the Atari 7800, which is indeed an excellent game. And let's try a couple things here. I want to make sure. Let's pause it for a minute. And let's go around here. I'm just going to turn it up. And make sure we got it cranked. Let's see how it sounds. It sounds okay. I mean, I'm guessing you can probably hear what I'm hearing. It does sound like this, so it's not terrible or anything, but it does definitely, in the high range, sound a little bit rough. Again, you know, I get it. It's nothing next to the family clones. It's definitely not 100% there. All right, another thing. Let's go to display. Let's do pixel perfect once. Let's see what we get. I don't think full screen's gonna matter. There we go. Let's I think I'm gonna try this with an arcade one, which will be just a thrill. Did I die? I did. Bummer. Let's go on.
All right, here we go with Lost Tomb, which will be our last game of the day, but there's a couple things I want to cover right away. And this is one of the problems with this game, which I was looking so forward to. Number one is the screen here is small. And this game only uses a portion of the screen. And when you're 50, this is really hard to see. So you could go to the display here and switch to full screen, but that looks absolutely awful. So I go back to playing it the original way, and then it becomes super hard. The other problem is these guys right here, this D-pad, and these face buttons are used for movement and firing in each direction. A lot of games do this on the Super Nintendo, and it works perfectly fine, but those games are tuned for the Super Nintendo. They're not the original arcade game. This is the original hard arcade game, and these controls are not the dual sticks that were in the original, and it makes it quite a bit harder. The other thing is that my whip's on the back here, so I barely use the whip at all when I'm generally holding the controller. Yeah, kind of hard. Anyway, let's try it out. Throw some credits in. That's select and start, which is pretty normal in the emulation world. Lock and load, mate. This like takes forever, this part. Like forever. All right. We're on a timer, so get moving. Give me a second there. Good. Now we'll try to escape. Heck yeah, made it. All right. And now we're going to run into a real problem. This screen has issues in the arcade game, but it gets real nasty with these controls. And, you know, I don't know if they should have reworked it or not, but I am literally stuck when I'm standing there. Look at that. I can't move. I cannot get to an angle which will allow me to go down. Now, I will say, if I play this for a while, I'll get used to it again. And I'll do better, but I'll never do as good as I did in the arcade because the controls are different and they make this screen impossible. It's kind of funny because the first time I can't move. You see how I'm pressing the button? It's not doing what I'm telling it to do. That is an actual problem in the actual arcade game, but it is made much harder by not having the original controls replicated. See, if I don't think about it. There we go. But I thought about it and boom, snapped. This is still a great game, but again, because the controls are not the original, they are slightly suboptimal. And that, again, makes the between screens actually harder than the game itself. All right, let's wrap things up. And that wraps it for the Atari Special Edition Super Pocket by Hyper Megatech. Come on, say it 3 times fast. Come on, say it. Do it. I'll wait. No? All right. We'll go on, I guess. Screen-wise, nice, bright, clear. It's decent. That said, there's some recent Chinese emulation handhelds that I've seen that have better screens than this. That's not saying that this one's bad. I'm saying that there are some knockoffs out there that are clearly using a bit better screen than this. But again, it's really not bad. Speaker-wise, the sound gets pretty loud. It's not super loud or anything, but you could use it in a, like kind of a crowded room and still be able to hear fine. The quality, it's moderate. It's rather tinny in my opinion, and it gets more distorted as you get up into the high range. But honestly, for most everyday gameplay, it's really not that bad. It's fine. It's just not amazing, you know? General construction quality, D-pad, a little bit shallow in my opinion, but not bad. It's definitely fine for most games. As I mentioned in Lost Tomb, I got a little bit annoyed with it, but again, there's a lot of problems with bringing arcade games onto a tiny little handheld like this, and it just suffers from it, you know? Same thing with the buttons, but they all feel really nice. It doesn't feel like it's going to break. I absolutely love the faux wood on this. It looks amazing. It does. It looks really, really good. The general construction, it feels heavy in the hands. It's really nice. I mean, the back buttons could be placed a little bit better for my liking. I would have liked them like literally just one step up, right here, right there. I would have liked them. But again, you know, nothing that I really dislike about it. The battery life on this thing, I've been getting probably about 3.5 to 4 hours, which I think is right within the claimed range. So I think they said 4 plus, and I'm getting between 3.5 and 4. So that's just about right. The selection of games that are on here, I actually think this is a good selection of Atari games. If you like Atari games, you're probably gonna like this collection. If you don't like Atari games, this ain't going to convert you over. I'd love to see iRobot on one of these. Could they just do iRobot, please, on one of these handhelds? Because it does play decently on a handheld. I've done that before, and it's a fairly good experience. So come on, guys. We can get there. We can get to the Jaguar, and we can get to iRobot for sure. Anyway, I think they still have the licensing for that. Yep, that's me, ranting and raving. Remember also that this does play Evercade games, and that is a huge selection of greatness in my opinion, and definitely makes it worth it. If you already have like a Super Pocket, unless you're a super Atari enthusiast like me, there's no reason to pick this up. But if it's your first device and you do like Atari, then you know you can get this. You can still get it in red. This was a special edition one. I think 2,600 of them were made. Get it? But anyway, you know, you might as well start with this as much as any of the other ones if the games appeal to you, because there's a lot more of them on this one than there are on either of these. But again, you know, it's a matter of personal taste whether you like these primitive games or not. Anyway, all in all, I actually do like it quite a bit. I'm loath to play it because I don't want to wear it out because it looks so nice, but I have been playing it more than I had originally planned. So it's quite a bit of fun, and I'll give it a thumbs up. It's not perfect. It's definitely for a certain audience. But if you're that certain audience, yeah, I think you're going to like it. All right, I want to thank you very much for watching this. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe for more. I'll see you in a couple days. Bye.